So today we're going to explore circumference a little bit more, and it's going to be a little bit tougher because we're actually going to multiply decimals, but at the same time we're going to use a formula. And I have it up here in the top right in case you forgot, and this is something that we're going to have to remember. And because of that, what I would like for you to do is every time you see the formula or it's necessary for you to write the formula, go ahead and do that because this is not going to be on the FSA. So for this particular example, we have a diameter of 36 yards. And if you look up here in our little formulas list, there's only one of those that has a D in it for diameter, and that is this one right here. So we're going to write C equals diameter times pi. And now we're going to fill in D and pi with the information that we do know that exists. So circumference equals diameter's 36, and pi is 3.14. And now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply it out. We're going to multiply 36 times 314, and we'll do it over here on the left side, right where there's enough room. So 314 times 36. 6 times 4 is 24. Carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 2 is 8. And then we've got 6 times 3 is 18. Now, because we're working in the 10 spot, we're going to drop a 0. 3 times 4 is 12. 2, carry the 1. We're up top. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And then 3 times 3 is 9. And now we add it all up. 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 4 is 3. And then we have, carry the 1, I believe. 1, 2, and then 11. 113.04. Because it's going to be 0.04 because we're going to move the decimal back twice to the right because we moved it twice to get 3.14. So that's our answer. 113.04 yards. Okay, now it's your turn. I'm going to give you about, I'll say 45 seconds to do this problem on your own. And you're going to use the formula here that I gave you. And you're going to pick which one. So you need to know what 12 feet is, and then plug in the formula, and then use multiplication and solve. Okay, so now you should have went ahead and come up with your answer. Basically, what we're going to do is, since we have the 12 feet, we know that we're working with the radius, which is this formula right here. So the circumference equals 2 pi, and the r is 12. So we'll go ahead and multiply the big numbers that we know. Circumference equals 2 times 12 is 24 pi. And then all we got to do is fill in the pi and then multiply. And the pi is 3.14. So 24 times 3.14. And so we're actually going to forget about the decimal here for a second, just actually multiply without it being there. And that's going to give us 4 times 4 is 16. Carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And then 4 times 3 is 12. Now we are working in the 10 spot, so we're going to add a 0 on the bottom, and then we're going to multiply like we normally do. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Add it all up together. 0 and 6 is 6. 8 plus 5 is 13. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 2 is 5, and then 6 plus 1 is 7. Now we're going to come back up here, and we're like, okay, well, we move the decimal twice to the right. You just move it twice back to the left. Circumference equals 75.36 feet. And we're done. Okay, now here's our next problem, and I'm going to do it for you. It gives us 14 inches for our diameter, so we're going to use the formula circumference equals diameter times pi. Circumference equals the diameter is 14 times pi, which is 3.14. So let's use the space underneath it to multiply. 314 times 14. That's going to give us, let's make the line a little bit thicker. 4 times 4 is 16. 6, carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and then 4 times 3 is 12. Add a 0, because now we're working in the 10 spot. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 6 and 0 is 6. 5 and 4 is 9. 2 and 1 is 3. 3 and 1 is 4. And then we bring the decimal back in and we move it to the left. 1, 2. The circumference of a circle is 43.96 inches. That's it. Okay, so here's the next problem, and I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to work this out on your own. Okay, so for this problem, what you should have done was you should have used, because it's the radius, circumference equals 2 pi r. So circumference equals 2 times 3.14 times r, which is 15. Simplify this into 2 times 15 is 30 times 3.14. Let's set it up. 314. We're going to move the decimal twice to the right. By the way, I hope you've noticed a pattern here. When we're multiplying by the pi, all we got to do is move the decimal to the right twice and move it back to the left twice. And you'll do this so many times, you'll build up a habit of just doing this at the end. So anyways, 314 times 30. 0 times 4 is 0, and then they're all 0, so 0, 0. Drop the 0 down because we're in the 10 spot now. 4 times 3 is 12. 2, carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, and then 3 times 3 is 9. And it gives us a nice 9420, and we're going to move the decimal twice to the left. So 94.20 inches. That is the circumference. All right, so now I have another diameter problem. So again, step 1, find the formula. I have a diameter, in this case, circumference equals diameter times pi. Step 2, fill it in. Circumference equals 8 times 3.14. And then step 3, we are going to actually multiply it out. It's 314 times 8. 8 times 4 is 32. 2, carry the 3. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11. Drop the 1, carry the 1. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 1 is 25. And now since we had moved the decimal twice to the left, we're going to move it twice back to the, or back. So it's going to be 25.12 inches. Okay, so now here's the next problem. And as you could have guessed it, it's a radius problem. So I'm going to give you about a minute or 30 seconds to complete this on your own. Okay, so you should have used the circumference equals 2 pi r. C equals 2 pi r. Fill in the numbers. 2 times pi times r is 8. 2 times 8. And so that's 16 pi. And so we're going to do 314 times 16, moving the decimal over twice, of course. And then that will give us 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. Drop it down. 6 times 3 is 18. And now we're going to be working in the 1 or the 10 spot. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. Add it up. 0 and 4 is 4. 8 and 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 1 and 8 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Finally, 1 plus 1 plus 3 is 5. So the circumference is, once we move the decimal back to the left, twice, 50.24 yards. All right, so we're just going to do this quick for the sake of time. 18 pi is the circumference. Pi is 314 once we move the decimals twice to the right. I'm multiplying by 18. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11. And then 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25. Now we're going to drop the 0 down because we were in the 10 spot. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. And then once we add it up, we get 56. And we're going to move the decimal back to the left twice. 0.52 inches. That is the circumference. Okay, same thing as before. 10 pi 314 times 10. And if you're familiar with place value, that just means 3,140. And then since we moved the decimal twice to the right originally, we're going to move it twice to the left. So the answer is 31.40 yards as the circumference.